Welcome to Copey's Koi. I just thought I'd do this little video just to update people on the things that I do, the way I do it, and try and explain a few things to people. Some of the messages I've had, I really appreciate the messages, whether they're negative or positive. That's just part of YouTubing, I suppose. The first thing is the cooking salt that I use. I've used it for years. I only ever put 6 kilograms of salt in my pond at one go, round about March, depending on the weather. That's just the way I've always done it. Even if I've had fish that are a little bit pinkish, sourish, bathed them in cooking salt. I've always done it. All the years I've had my pond, I've never had issues, apart from when I had Israeli koi that give my pond a disease, but that was nothing at all to do with me. And that was a fair few years ago. Now I've started using the proper salt, which is in an up and coming video. Somebody mentioned about the way I treated Goldie when I took him out for a scrape. And what I'd like to say to people is, I've been fishing since I was 13 years old, and I still, once a year, manage to go fishing now. Big carp, like millions of people around the world, unhook their fish on grass. It's a safe, soft method, depending who it is, the individual that's unhooking that fish. Obviously now regulations changed a few years back. You have to have, and I'll just show the item. Just so as you all know, when I'm out fishing, which I'll be out September, that's called an unhooking mat. Now you're probably thinking, if you've got an unhooking mat, Copey, how come you don't put Goldie on it when you're treating him? I don't know whether you'll see it on camera. Two reasons. There's the first one, that's from last year. Now, as you know, when you're fishing, this is something else I like to show as well, your landing net. That's also what I use for fishing. The reason I don't use them and I don't use my unhooking mat is because you don't know what diseases are coming out of fisheries. Obviously, you dip your nets, if you're a fisher person, you dip your nets before and after when you go fishing, whether it's competition or whether it's just your daily fun, fishing enjoyment. That's the reason I never used my unhooking mat, because I didn't want to cause any more problems with my fish, especially Goldie, all of them. The Goldie's, it was a gift off of my best mate. That's all I can say about that. Right, the net that I used to get Goldie out is this net. This is a brand new specimen carp fishing net. Now, the reason of these nets, these are designed for the health and safety of landing fish and unhooking fish. That is the sole purpose of the companies that develop these nets. Not like the old nets that used to have knots in. These are developed purely for the quality of the fish when you're landing them and unhooking them. Now, the reason I kept going into that net, like I said, I've had years and years of experience of unhooking fish on the bank. I don't now, I do use my mat. I didn't use that mat for Goldie simply because of transferring diseases. Same with the nets. As I got Goldie out of the pond and lay him on the grass, I kept Goldie inside that net. Part of that net there, I lay over his face to help calm the fish down, which is what I do on the bankside. The other thing is, and this happened to me in the past, and I've seen loads of fishermen and fisherwomen do exactly the same. They've got them out the net, on the grass, and they've bounced all around the bank. And I have seen that. Not so much recently now, but in the past, a regular thing with people. You live and learn. Everybody makes mistakes. The idea of keeping it in that net is, if it did start jumping about erratically, I could have just lifted the net up with Goldie in it and supported him from any further damage. So, that was the reason of this video. The chemicals that I've been using in my pond. Okay, I've had a few people message, friends, oh, you seem to put a lot of chemicals in at once. No, I don't. The same again, these videos have been added together to try and build a little bit of a picture up of how I'm trying to treat my fish. and control the problem. Now, when you see me put cooking salt in, and then you see me put acroflavin in, when you see me put PP treatment in, Lennox Pro, whatever it is I'm using, these chemicals and salts are not put in every day. I'm not putting salt in, acroflavin in the next day, PP in it the next day. All these things need to be used over a period of time. And all these things that I've been trying to use to treat my fish this year have all been over a period of time. You just get to see them all, I hope you appreciate, in a small video. And I know sometimes there may be the one or two that get mixed up. That Sheldon picked me up on one yesterday with my pH, when I put pH buffer in, and then I got KH problems. There was totally different. There was problems with my water parameters. Totally different times. It just seemed to be, it was the same thing on the same video. So that was just unfortunate. So I'm trying to do this video now just to explain to all you folks, I do my very best to look after my fish. They're my pride and joy. I've had them for 32 years. I'm a fisherman. I love my fishing, and I'll even upload some photos so you can see the fish that I've had. And I've travelled only around Great Britain, but I've travelled around a lot of fisheries, and I have won a lot of trophies in the past for me fishing. And I do believe that I am 100% going to get myself a mat for my koi. And the reason I got one this year, well, the reason why I haven't got one, I've never had problems like this before in all the years I've kept my koi. That's why I've never had a mat. Never thought I'd ever need one. But anybody out there, if you haven't got one, then I don't think them really expensive. I think them called a crib now, which is almost like an oval changing mat, and it's got a little barrier around the edge as well, so if the fish does start to flip, it can't get out of that. It contains into that mat. But me personally, by keeping it in the net, like I said, I can lift it up off the floor if it's getting too stressed, which I think is better than having it on a mat where it can flip about all over the bank. And then and I've seen it done, and I've done it myself. You're fighting to try and grab hold of that fish and control that fish. To me, that's more stress to the fish. With Goldie, when I got Goldie out to do a scrape, that's the first time since I've had Goldie that I've ever took him out of the water, apart from when he had to come out and be put in another pond when my pond was rebuilt a fair few years back. But I think it was 5 years back, I think, something like that. That was the only reason he was out the pool, and this is the first time since then. He hand feeds, I don't stroke him, he follows me around the pool when I'm doing anything. He's just a really nice fish. I was trying to film, I was holding the camera in my hand, and I was trying to film Goldie. Maybe I should have put it on a tripod to try and film it that way. But as you know, I've been stressed out, not just with the fish, all of the problems I've had with my water and everything else. So that's why I thought I'd do this video. And I do appreciate you all watching my videos. I thank you very much for all you that watch it, all you that subscribe, the ones that enter my competition as well, me and Mason. Mason's made up over it. I'm trying to get him a little bit more into the videos, but he's a little bit shy at the moment. Trying my best to get him involved. He loves the fish, he's up feeding them and feeding them. Not at the moment, that's been stopped because of what I've got in the water now. That's an up and coming video. Please keep watching my videos. I hope I've explained myself and some of the things that I'm doing that people may think, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. I do listen to a lot of people, but it's minimal advice that I take. And Darren Sheldon said to me, he says, you've had fish 32 years, can't buy me asking advice. You've obviously had problems before like everybody else, and you've treated, why me asking advice? It's just nice to be able to turn around to somebody else and ask their opinion, to see if you am doing it properly, and to see if the things that you're using and working, because there's a lot of chemicals out there that you all know, people are buying, and them having there's no joy or anything coming out of them chemicals. So I really appreciate you all. Thank you all very, very much, and I really mean that. And I'm sorry if I've stressed you out. I was going to put that video in my Goldie on because of what happened. That happened over just a matter of a couple of minutes, that was all. As you know, I took the phone off straight away, scraped him. He's my priority. He's back in the pond. He's swimming around now. He has got a sore under his fin, but you'll see that on an up and coming video. So I hope you really enjoyed, folks. It's no good just putting all the best stuff on your videos. I'm trying to put stuff in that goes wrong, things that I've done wrong, and things that I'm trying to learn by. And I hope you all appreciate what I'm doing to try and show all you people out there that even after 32 years of keeping fish, I still drop a clanger. So, cheers folks, absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, and catch you on the next one. If you've enjoyed this video, please share it, subscribe, and polish me thumb. You know you want to, folks.